Hey, the CCO has confirmed some big news. There are some more buffs on the way, a hint about a new weapon, and an agreement that we need more assault rifles. Pilstead also commented on the Helldivers 2 trailer because fans have pointed out something odd about it, which we'll discuss. Plus, we'll cover other topics too within this video. Please support the channel by hitting the like button below, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. What we have first in today's video is the Plas 101 Purifier buff. We've all been patiently waiting for this weapon to get a buff. We thought it was going to happen in the last big update, but it didn't. Now it seems it's finally going to happen. The creative director for Helldivers 2 and the CCO, Mr. Pilstead, has confirmed on X, formerly known as Twitter, that the next build will include a buff for the Plas 101, which was part of the Polar Patriot Warbond. He responded to a player on X who asked, "Can we get a massive buff to the Purifier?" To this, the CCO and creative director replied with, "Yes, we already have it on the internal build. It will be able to be fired as the Scorcher plus charge up if you want blast." I can't wait to try this out because it seems like it's going to be a lot better this time around. I've read some comments in the past where a few of you thought it was perfectly fine and there was no need for a buff. However, I don't feel the same way about it. I understand it was great for the bots, but I don't think it was in a good spot. The charge time felt like it wasn't worth the risk when fighting against a large number of Terminids or the Automatons. It seemed like there was way more risk than reward with it. I really don't like how it is right now, so I am definitely arms open to this and will greatly appreciate any sort of buff for it. Also, there's no word as of right now on whether or not it will receive a buff, but I'm not sure if it necessarily needs one. As it stands, its damage is at 250 compared to the Scorcher, which currently has a damage of 100. Now, there is a chance they might swap some things around. I believe the Purifier deals 250 damage when fully charged, so they might adjust how the damage works since you'll be able to fire it similar to how the Scorcher currently is. Although it would be pretty incredible if the developers at Arrowhead made it so the Purifier deals 250 damage with each shot. I won't complain if that does happen because that would be enough damage to make me happy. So what do you think about the buff so far? Is it good enough or not? If not, let me know what you would like to see changed with it. Now, about 2 days ago, another person asked if we could receive more assault rifles, preferably not bullpups. Pilstead simply replied back and agreed. So there's a chance we could see more assault rifles, but I don't think we need more. We've got way more assault rifles than SMGs. We currently have 6 assault rifles. I don't personally want to see another one. You might feel differently about this. If so, let me know. But I'd like to see another SMG instead because we only have 3. That is if you own the Super Citizen Edition, because it includes the SMG Knight. If not, then you probably only have 2 submachine guns, the SMG 72 Pummeler and the SMG 37 Defender. For me, I'd rather see another SMG, a marksman rifle, or an explosive because there are only 3 explosive weapons. Last but not least, the CCO Mr. Pilstead also hinted at a bayonet weapon, which makes me believe we'll see another assault rifle. Yet if it comes with a bayonet attached to it, I suppose I won't be too disgruntled about it. I'd really like to see something different in the next Warbond. Anyways, I digress. The creative director, Mr. Pilstead, posted this in response to an image of a bayonet from Helldivers 1 and posted this on X where he wrote, "Let me tell you about redacted." This being said, there were some hints about a bayonet type weapon a month or 2 ago that were discovered in the game files. So most likely they have plans to introduce that at some point. Whether or not it will be effective is questionable because the throw knife was a bit disappointing. Sure, it's nothing like a bayonet, but my point is if they give us something like that, I'd like for it to be useful and not a weapon I'll, throw back in the armory and just forget about it, right? So more damage with the bayonet instead of the usual melee damage would be great, of course, but hey, that's my constructive criticism and opinion on it. I know that we all may not share the same take on certain topics, but I don't want to have another assault rifle that I'm going to put aside and just forget about. So I'm not entirely sure what the assault rifles need at the moment. Perhaps an increase in ammo capacity could be great, similar to when they added a drum magazine to the Liberator Concussive. I would love to see an ammo buff like that on another model of the Liberator. But overall, all these changes, I can't believe it's real because, to be honest, they're doing a lot of good stuff here, like just buffing weapons, trying to add newer weapons. I mean, it's pretty much a great time to be a Helldiver. Next up, I'm not sure if anyone else noticed this, I certainly didn't, but a fan on Reddit pointed out that in the trailer, the Helldivers Liberator assault rifles are missing their magazines. Pilstead actually saw this post and had some things to say about it. He wrote, Just wow, I can't even. This cannot be unseen. I don't know how many times we reviewed this intro and no one caught it, even though we have several people with military training on the team. This is a mistake. That it's taken over 2 years for someone to point it out is crazy. Good catch, but now I can never watch it again. Edit, actually it looks like the shortest of magazines. It's pretty cool to see that the CCO, Mr. Pillistad, is taking it lightly and not just going, crazy over it. But yeah, that right there, honest mistake, right? Some people make mistakes, it happens, but I thought this was interesting and I thought I would share it with you guys because I didn't realize this. I'm not sure if any of you have and you just didn't create a post on Reddit or maybe commented on it on some other channel or mine. But yeah, that right there is incredible. And some of you are great, just paying attention to the details, basically. Moving along, the community manager has confirmed that Arrowhead is developing a new in-games communication system, aka Comms. This means we won't have to rely on Discord, Reddit, or some other platform for the game news, right? This is huge because it allows them to share news, information, and possibly patch notes directly. Twinbird confirmed this on Discord and wrote, "Sure, all platforms have their pros and cons. We're still working on implementing comms between us and you, and hopefully a better system between players as well. But until then, we have to make do with what we have. Discord is our primary one and Reddit our secondary in terms of Q&Q stuff, and that's not likely to change." Again, I'm gonna say the same thing. This is big because we need a better communication system, right? This way, for you guys that do not have a Reddit account or possibly you do not have a Discord account, this way you can pick up some information without actually going to those specific things, right? So I think this is big, and hopefully they're able to implement this sooner rather than later, but honestly, I'm just excited that they have confirmed this. On a completely different note, let's discuss bugs. I understand that some view this negatively, but I see it differently. By informing you about them, I'm ensuring you're aware of what's happening. This way, if you encounter the same bug, you'll understand its cause or the reason why it's happening, or better yet, you'll know how to prevent it before it even happens. So the first issue I want to highlight is that some of you might want to reconsider purchasing the Exterminator title from the Chemical Age of Warbond for the time being, as currently those who have bought it are unable to equip the title. I believe the reason some are losing the title is because it can be equipped already without purchasing it, and when you do buy from the Warbond, it somehow negates the purchase, removing it from your list of available titles, if that makes any sense at all. The good thing is that the developers are aware of this and have plans to resolve this soon. Someone on the Helldivers 2 Discord reported that they had purchased the title with their medals, but when they checked the list of titles, it wasn't there to be equipped. The community manager Robert saw this and responded that they are aware of the issue. Here's his full response where he wrote, "We are aware of this issue and working to fix this. The plan is set, and as I mentioned, they're going to resolve it at some point. If you've already purchased it and this has happened, it's unfortunate, but eventually they'll figure out what went wrong and release either a hotfix or a patch. On the other hand, if it hasn't happened to you just yet and you haven't purchased it, avoid doing so for now until they've got a fix for it." Another bug that's soon going to be resolved, which we discussed in the previous video, involves the Automaton Eradicate mission. If you're not familiar with the issue, here's a quick rundown on what's going on. The mission is bugged to the extent that you cannot complete it because enemies do not spawn correctly. The support team member Roberts responded to a player stating, "We are aware of this and working on a fix." Previously in the last video, I wasn't sure if this issue was considered a high priority since it wasn't explicitly highlighted on the known issue list. However, now that they've confirmed they're actively working on a fix, it's clear this must be high on their priority list, so expect a fix for that bug eventually. The second issue I want to address, it currently has no workarounds that I know of, but it involves connection problems. Several players have reported being unable to connect, and one player commented on a Reddit thread about how they can't get other players to join their lobbies during an active mission, or even when they send out an SOS beacon, which does absolutely nothing for them either. The support team member saw this exact comment and relayed this information to the developers. B-Vitamin wrote this in response. Over the last few weeks, there have been quite a lot of reports of connectivity issues which aren't listed here. If I go and look at everything the team has open right now, well, it's all gibberish to me. I have no idea what the cause of connectivity issues are, but the team responsible for it sure has a lot of work. I've passed on the details of all the tickets that contain any detail, so they are definitely aware of the problems. What the progress is on them, however, I'm afraid that goes right over my head. Good news, I suppose, right? Over the past few weeks, it's been a problem for a lot of players. There's no telling when it will be resolved, but the developers do have all the tickets, and hopefully They'll be able to resolve any connection problems you've been experiencing recently, and that's all I really have for that specific issue. Once I know more, I'll let you all know in another video on what's going on, so keep your eyes open for that video. Now, there's another player that tagged B Vitamin explained a stratagem bug that can occur on PlayStation 5. I haven't personally encountered this, so I'm not sure how common it is, but this player tagged the support team member and wrote this in response. On PS5, dialing a stratagem will also use a supply pack charge if wearing a supply pack and having any missing resources. Again, I haven't had this happen to me yet, but the support team member B Vitamin saw this and responded with, "Hey there, I know about this issue, but it hasn't yet gone through the proper process. This was a bug from a while ago marked as fixed, but it appears to be broken again. I can't add it to the list until it's reopened." Yeah, so it's kind of wild how it was once a problem that was fixed, but has now suddenly reemerged and is affecting some players. I say some because I'm not certain how widespread this is or how common it is. But yeah, if you've experienced this recently or any other bug for that matter, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be responding to a few. Next, we'll be checking out a few bugs reported by a player on Reddit who also tagged B Vitamin. B Vitamin viewed this post and responded to the player, who had provided evidence for each bug. I'll include a link in the description so you can check it out yourselves. Now that aside, let's go over the 3 bugs that are listed, which are: stratagem balls cannot be thrown after falling from a certain height, radar station side objectives cause certain POI map icons to not update, grenades become equipped if ragdoll during quick throw animation. The biggest issue for me is with the radar station. This can be quite annoying, especially when you're trying to locate bunkers or shipping containers with super credits. I've missed several points of interest because of this and lost out on some credits as well, so if you weren't aware of this, make sure to check around while you're exploring to see if you've missed any additional spots on the map. Anyways, as I mentioned, the support team member saw this, but unfortunately the only response that Arrowhead had was to recommend this player to submit a support ticket about the bugs and not to tag Pilstead because bug reports aren't the CCO's job to handle. Last but not least, the larva backpack is believed to be bugged. I'll say right off the bat, I don't think it is because I've noticed that the backpack is attacked even at the objective location where the bugs are always attacking it non-stop. So I'm going to say it's intended unless I'm wrong and it is a bug. You can let me know what you think, but this player also tagged B Vitamin and wrote, "Hello, can you confirm if this is intended behavior? One of the strategies I've seen people use is leaving the bug larva backpack at extracts so they don't have to carry it. I've done this, and sometimes the backpack will be attacked while no one is at extract, and sometimes it is left alone." B Vitamin's response was that she'll ask around and add to the list if it's a problem. Again, I don't think this is a bug at all, but who knows? I could be wrong, and if I am, I'll be sure to bring this specific bug up again in another video detailing what's going on with it. Also, I forgot to include this previously, but I'll do it now because I feel like it's worth mentioning. The developers might be actually introducing some new difficulty modes at some point. There's a player on the Discord that basically said, wait, people are still complaining about the game being too easy. Are we going to see some nerfs again? Now, that I don't think is going to happen because this is what Twinbrew said in response. No, in that case, we'll try to please players who really want to be challenged by introducing either a higher diff setting and or other similar options, such as missions with preset conditions, getting achievements, resources, etc. for beating missions without dying in X time or something similar. I stand by what I've said before, that it's easier and wiser to introduce more difficult options for those who want a stiffer challenge than nerfing broadly again. For an overwhelming percentage, the game is the best it's ever been right now, and we'll be very careful when introducing changes now, especially more substantial ones. This right here for me is some big news because I don't think the game is easy, but I do want a challenge. I do want a challenge and I want to be rewarded for it. Maybe more colors, different titles, something to say, hey, this dude right here went through a lot and got that title right there, or he got these certain amount of colors. Just something, right? Maybe even armor. Just something to give us a reward for all the hard work, and I think that right there would be awesome if they do something like that with a higher difficulty mode. Anyways, with all the news being said, this is your Helldivers 2 news. If you would like to be featured in the next video, post a comment below, and if you're one of the top comments, you'll be showcased at the end of the next video. The first comment is by BaconLover09423. I think the new Warbond is awesome. I don't get why most people hate it. And I think the reason why most people don't like it is because they might not know how to use it properly. Or they don't like the damage. Either one is justified. The second comment is by MotoRide. Gas is working as intended. It is used for slowing down and confusion of enemies. not to melt them down like fire. And last but not least, we have Adrian Collado, if I'm pronouncing that right, forgive me if I'm not, 9275. I think the funniest bug is the evacuate valuable asset mission bug, where you just use the terminal and you win, and you leave the civilians there to die. Those right there are the top 3 comments. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.